Welcome to the audiobook of The Great Housing Hijack. Chapter 15, Immigration Inspection. A quote. I actually believe in a big Australia. I make no apology for that. I actually think it's good news that our population is growing. End quote. That's former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd explaining his view that rapid immigration to grow the population is politically desirable, seemingly ignoring effects on rental and labour markets. And that quote's from ABC News in October 2009. Let's begin. Property speculators and landlords love high rates of immigration, even though they constantly argue that there is a shortage of housing. No one seems to care about this contradiction. I was at a meeting in 2019 hosted by Maha Sinnathambe, the developer of Springfield, a massive master plan suburb between Brisbane and Ipswich. The topic was population. I made the comment about how weird it is that property developers think that it is the government's job to bring new customers to their projects through immigration policy, especially high-income immigrants who can splash out on expensive rents and prices, rather than the job of developers to compete on price and quality. There was little substantive response to this. But then the discussion moved to dealing with possible future scenarios where Australia needed to support a sudden refugee inflow, perhaps due to a catastrophe in the Pacific. In this scenario, most participants at the meeting changed their story. The housing needs of these immigrants were a problem that the government should sort out. They said, oh, where would we house them all? What a disaster! The government would have to do something. I was puzzled. I said something along the lines of, you just said you want the government to bring in lots of people because you have thousands of homes to build. Can't you just house refugees too? Stunned faces followed. Then weak excuses. Apparently these new suburbs and subdivisions aren't appropriate for these types of people. Property lobbyists have hijacked housing debates when it comes to immigration by arguing that it's the government's job to ensure plenty of new wealthy immigrants arrive to buy homes, but also the government's job to house poor immigrants so they don't end up living in their snobby new housing subdivisions. This section's called Recent Immigration Experience. The post-COVID period from late 2022 has seen a record number of new immigrants arrive in Australia, a pattern repeated in the United Kingdom and Canada. A lot of this was catch-up immigration, squeezing the 2020 and 2021 years into 2022 and 2023. But this incredibly high immigration also looks similar to the step change in our immigration system that happened in 2006 and has mostly persisted since. In the decade before 2006, net immigration to Australia was around 100,000 per year, but it jumped suddenly to become roughly 215,000 per year over the next decade, with a brief peak of 300,000 in 2009. For reference, the population of Canberra in 2021 was 450,000 people. The immigration rate from 2006 onwards has meant building a new Canberra's worth of homes, roads and public services every couple of years to accommodate the additional people. The past two high immigration decades have created a broad coalition of vested interests that rely on high immigration for their business, from universities to landlords, property developers and the Australian media. The interests of this coalition are now reflected in the positions adopted by the Treasury and other government agencies like the Productivity Commission. I want to be clear that when it comes to immigration, as in many things, moderation is the key. It is perfectly fine. This was a free sample of the audiobook of The Great Housing Hijack. To get full access, sign up as a paid subscriber at fresheconomicthinking.com.